feelings I live. He said, now, let me stick it in, and I'll take you home. He grabbed my feet by my ankles, and he pulled me back. Flipped me over, and he was on top of me, looking me in my face just like that. When he got off my wrist, I slipped that bro. Schwab! He's coming, I kept moving back and forth through the van. I was like, yeah, bam, yeah! Leg kick. And I saw fear.
What?
He was on top of me.
And why does her shirt say French fries? What the freak, bro? She said, watch out! With the Naruto gang, with the black Narizi, bro. With the black Louise. What, bro? I'm not ready for this, y'all. Yo, what's good, y'all? I ain't gonna lie. I hope you let me post this video, bro. I never reacted to one of these people videos, unfiltered stories, you feel me? But the title of this is The Serial Killer Who Picked the Wrong Victim. This video look crazy, bro. Like, the title look crazy. You feel me? Yeah, bro. The description say, Fredia Gibbs made history as the first African-American female world kickboxing champion. Oh, shoot. But her toughest fight didn't happen in the ring. It happened in a dark van on the streets of Los Angeles. Dang, boy. So she a kickboxer. Hold on. I don't want to go to the comments because I don't want them to tell me what happened. But, hey, let's get into it. This seemed crazy, bro.
Car, you know, something clicked, and I just said, Father, please don't let me have to this guy up. I was like, all right, well, you know, turn right here in Coliseum, and he turned left. Then I knew I was in danger. He said, now, I'll never forget these words, let me know as I live. He said, now, let me stick it in, and I'll take you home. He grabbed my feet by my ankles, and he pulled me back. Flipped me over, and he was on top of me, looking me in my face just like that. When he got off my wrist, I slipped that bro. Schwab! He's coming, I kept moving back and forth through the van. I was like, yeah, bam, yeah! Leg kick. And I saw fear.
What?
He was on top of me.
And why does her shirt say French fries? What the freak, bro? She said, watch out! With the Naruto gang, with the black Narizi, bro. With the black Louise. What, bro? I'm not ready for this, y'all. I'm not ready for this. Let me lock in, bro. She got a shirt named French fries. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Come on, then. My fault. What she say? Watch out! Phone him.
He looked me in my face just like that. When he got off my wrist, I slipped that bro. Schwab!
Yeah!
He's coming, I kept moving back and forth through the van. I was like, yeah, bam, yeah!
Bow!
Kick.
Yeah!
I saw fear in his eyes. I was like, yeah!
Then I saw fear in his eyes. Bro, she fried me, gang! Yeah! Yeah!
He said, oh, shit. You want to fight me? I run and grab his pants. Bro,
this video frying me.
I grabbed this.
Oh.
I said, where the keys at, motherfucker?
Oh, shoot.
My name is Fredia Gibbs.
I said, what's up?
Billed as the most dangerous woman in the world.
Oh, shoot, she ain't playing, though.
American female world kickboxing champion. Standing alongside of Bruce Lee and Van Damme.
She ain't playing. Y'all, hold on. We gotta go watch one of her fights, y'all. Hold on. Oh, my gosh. Because the way she just did that, watch out for them. We gotta go watch one of her fights, bro. Oh, shoot. I thought that was Burke. Bro, we need Burke back, bro. Fredia Gibbs, bro. We need a match versus, yeah, whoever this is. Oh, shoot. 1994. This some old school junk for real, y'all. This some real life old school junk. She said, what y'all? Hold on, let's go to the part. Whoever won, we gonna see.
Break it up. Wake up. What you...
Oh!
And down goes the champion.
Oh! She ain't playing. What's up? For them. Hey, bro. Okay. Nah, she was really about. Hey, she wasn't playing, fool. And she just tried to do some Naruto swing. She tried to do the. Y'all saw what the other girl tried to do. What the freak?
Man, It's a small suburban area outside of Philadelphia.
Oh,
Actually, it's
shoot.
nothing. It's
That's
like 5
fine.
miles long, and it's really nothing but a bunch of projects. You know, we were some happily poor kids, and we didn't know that we were poor, but we were always happy because
That's
we were always
hard.
playing games.
Yeah.
You know, we were always outdoors playing double Dutch or Scotch or different things like that. But
Yeah.
like I said, we were poor, but we were some happily poor kids.
That's hard though.
Simple times.
Yeah, exactly.
When did bullying begin for you, and how did it shape your sense of self at the time?
That's interesting that you asked. Bullying, wow. I was probably like 8 years old. The bullying actually started at home with my mother's brothers. You know, my mother was 18 when she had me, so at the time she was living with her mother, and she had about 8 brothers at the time. And whenever I was the only girl, the only niece, the first one, but whenever it was dinner time, I was always sitting at a table with a bunch of guys. And where the bullying started is they tapped me on my shoulder. I looked that way. Somebody take my food. They tap me on my shoulder. I look that way. They take my food. I turn back, and I didn't have any food left. So I used to go home, go to bed. You know.
You ain't noticed that though. Like, you ain't noticed that, bro.
Growling. Because I didn't eat anything. So that's where the bullying started.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something. What occurred? My mother, she heard my stomach growling, and she's like, "I thought you ate." And I told her. She said, "Well, you know what? You got a fork, and you got a knife. Use your fork whenever they put their hand on your plate." You know, and that's what I eventually had to do. And once I started, you know, making contact with my uncles and them, you know, and then eventually I was able to eat a full quart.
That's what you call it, bro? Making contact? Making contact. Boy, you is stabbing your brothers, man. Talking about making contact. That's what we calling it, bro.
You know, and then eventually I was able to eat
Yeah,
a
we
full
just
course
made
meal
contact with them.
and go to bed without
Yeah,
my
you see
stomach.
them over there? Yeah, we just made contact with them. You see the ops over there? We just made contact. That's what y'all...
growling.
That's the old school way of saying y'all just poked somebody, bro. What the freak?
The power of fighting back, not with anger, but with purpose.
Hey, y'all see them demons over there? I just prayed to God. We just made contact with them. You feel me? You know?
It taught me that
That's hard.
anything's possible as long as you're coachable, because I had to be coachable from my mother in order to learn that I had a fork and a knife that was able to protect me.
They also got a fork and a knife, though. Like, yeah. You feel me?
To have a full meal. That makes sense? So you got to be coachable. That's the most important thing. And I was at that time.
And I think that kind of leads into my next question, which was, how did you get into martial arts and kickboxing?
Being bullied. I don't know what it was. I have no idea, Molly, what it was. I used to ask the kids, do I have this invisible sign on my back that says bully me? You know what I mean? Because it was just really hilarious, because it seemed like no matter where I went, whatever school I attended, someone always bullied me. And I just couldn't figure it out. Like, do I have this, and do I look like the type to be bullied? But where it all started was, I'll never forget, I was in 5th grade, okay?
Yeah.
And the kids, I did the kids a favor by doing their homework. Don't do kids a favor by doing their homework, because then they're going to demand it the next 2, 3, or 4, or 5 times. The bullying really became intense. I mean, to the point where I was able to elude them for a year or so, but it got to the point where they were catching on. And I'll never forget this. One day we were on a school bus, and they told me that they're going to get me. So what happened was, all of them, the bus driver stopped at our stop, and everybody on the bus got off the bus.
Yeah.
I was the only one on the bus with the bus driver. And I said to the bus driver, "Can you take me to the next stop?" She said, "No." I said, "But they're going to beat me up." She said, "No, they're not." She said, "This is what I want you to do." That's what the bus driver said to me. She said, "I want you to walk to the back of the bus, and I want you to raise the emergency door, unlock it. Then I want you to walk back to the front of the bus where I am." I said, "Okay." She said, "When I count to 3, I want you to run through the back of that door as fast as you can, and bust it open and run us home as fast as you can." I said, "Okay." She said, "No, I mean run us home as fast as you can. Don't look back." I said, "Okay." So what I did, she said, "You ready?" I said, "Yes." So I walked to the back of the bus, and I unlocked the lock. And when I walked to the back of the bus, Everybody outside of the bus walked to the back of the bus. It was crazy. She said, now come to the front of the bus.
Bro.
So I came back to the front of the bus. And all the kids out there came back to the front of the bus.
You gotta juke him. You gotta You feel me? You gotta to the right, to the back, to the front, 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 to the front, to the front, to the back. You gotta do a little dance for that. You feel me?
Step down as if you're ready to walk out. So I stepped down, and when I stepped down, all of them came like crabs to the front. She said, now run. I took off running out the back door. Wilma Rudolph couldn't touch me. I kid you not.
Ricky, what's her name? Farida. Run, Farida. Yeah. Run, Gibbs. Yeah.
I bust out the back door. I had a head start. Head start.
Oh, Varnell.
Whoa. I never snot was hanging from my nose. It was swinging over there. That's how fast I was going. And finally, eventually, I made it to my mom's home, and the door was open because she was expecting me. And I busted the screen door, opened it. I slammed the screen door. I slammed the door. I had my back up against the door, and when I bust through, the cars all flew off the table.
You don't got a lock.
My mom was like, girl, what the hell wrong with you? Busting through my door like a black superwoman. You done lost your damn mind.
Oh, what?
That's what my mom said. But I didn't care because I felt safe.
That's real, gang. Hey, why she say she closed the door, y'all? Then she had her back on the door like, yo, got a lock or something? That's something you do like, you know, and then it's like 18 of them. The way you was describing this heck of kids, like, what the freak is your little back gonna do like you a kid right now? Like, if they all just want to push through the door, they could. You feel me?
Then eventually what happened,
that's like funny though.
My mom heard a lot of jibber jabber outside.
Yeah.
I didn't want her to go outside. And when she opened the door, she saw the whole school bus in our yard.
Dang.
And she went out there, she was like, what the hell is going on out here? You know, we come to beat Freedy up. My mother said, not all y'all. You know, not all of you. Now, which one here to beat her up?
Frida.
You know,
Frida.
3 girls raised their hand. My mom said, what's your mother's name? She said, Fanny Lou. My mom said, I know your mother figures. She said, what's your mother's name? What's your mother's name? My mom said, which one of y'all the baddest one?
Why would, how old? She said 5th grade. If I'm in 5th grade, I'm not telling nobody mama. Like, y'all bold, bro. Like, y'all wild.
Raised her hand. My mother said, well, then Frida gonna fight her then.
She's
not gonna fight all 3 of y'all.
Your mama wilded too. Oh my gosh.
So my mom called me outside. I was terrified. You gonna beat her? You gonna beat her tonight, or I'm gonna beat your ass. Now you got a choice.
I can't stand when parents do this, bro. Why is you forcing your child to go fight? Your child don't even want to go fight. This will make children crash out. Like, oh, so now if I go fight, if I get beat up by them, I'm also get beat up by you. But if I don't fight, I'm gonna get made fun of, and I'm gonna get beat up by you, and they probably gonna joke with you. I bet everybody finna get shot. You feel me? That's how people just start thinking. Like, I'm just finna crash out, freak it. You feel me? Like, that's not cool, bro. I can't stand when parents do that. Me personally, the way I'm gonna raise my kids gonna be so on fire for the Lord. Facts. And if they not, I ain't gonna force them, bro. But I'm gonna raise them to be a good person. I mean, I'm gonna raise them to be on fire for the Lord. I'm gonna raise them in God's will. And if they not, they turn away from God, that ain't on me, bro. I did my job. I'm gonna make sure I do my due diligence. You feel me? I'm gonna try my best to show the love of God to them. You don't gotta fight nobody. God gonna fight for you. You don't gotta. We don't do none of that. We prayed up. We got protection in the spiritual and in the physical. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Facts.
I was terrified. You know what I mean? I was terrified. And she gave me the broom. And she pushed me out there. Dear God. I don't even remember fighting.
She gave you the broom?
I don't even remember fighting. But what I do remember is that, you know, we fought. I remember there were bruises on both of us. I remember me giving my mom back half the broom. And I recall not getting my ass whooped. That makes sense? So the fact that I didn't get my ass whooped said I did something right somewhere. I didn't feel safe at all because I didn't want to go back to that school. and I demanded that they transfer me to another school. This is where the intervention came in, and it really made a positive impact on my life. And that's when I told you I was at my grandma's. I went to give her a hug. She contacted my Uncle Billy, and then it was intervention time. He couldn't come see me that weekend, but when it came that following Monday, I'll never forget that he came up to the projects, and you know, he wanted to connect with me, and he said, you know, and I really looked up to him. You know, I really always looked up to him because he's just like so cool. He's like the black Bruce Lee. He was just fly, you know. And,
Fly.
you know, he's real hippie.
She
like,
talk crazy, bro.
Make a long story short, I'll never forget him putting his hand on my shoulder, and we were walking. He said, I want to talk to you. He said, so I heard that you don't want to go to school anymore. You know, and I explained to him, and he said that I heard that people are bullying you, and I explained to him, and he said, well, you know, you can't continue to run all your life media, you know. He said there's going to come a time in life where you're going to have to learn how to stand firm. You're going to have to learn how to fight with your mind, you know. He was like, you're going to have to learn confidence. And I was like, what's confidence? You know, because I'd never heard that word before. And he said, confidence is knowing that you have no doubt in the abilities and the gift that God has blessed you with. Knowing who you are. Do you understand? I said, yeah, I understand.
How was she crying,
You know,
with no, like, she don't even seem like she crying, like water just falling, bro.
He said, so we want you to learn martial arts. I said, no, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. He said, this is not about fighting. This is about us rebuilding your self-confidence and us rebuilding your self-esteem. It's not about fighting, you dig? And then from there, I went to class, you know, and once I was able to identify confidence and self-esteem and be amongst the major martial artists like Master Barry and all these bad black martial arts, these guys were dangerous. Quiet Storm. It just sparring with them took me to a whole new level. You know, that's how I got into kickboxing. That's how my confidence grew. My confidence grew to a level that I'm blown away. I have a 6-foot bronze statue. I don't think it has registered yet, but I have a 6-foot bronze statue that is the world's first female kickboxing statue on the planet. I don't even think that even has processed yet. You know what I mean? You feel what I'm saying? That's pretty deep, isn't it? Not many people have a 6-foot bronze statue, right? See how fresh I am right now? You know, I wasn't fresh throughout the process. You understand? Because it was all about the struggle. And throughout the struggle, throughout the process, it's very important that you remain hungry. You understand? Because a lot of people understand, in order to become a world champion...
also important that you remain humble. Because in the same way your brother was talking about God, see, I think confidence is a good thing, but I don't think we ought to put confidence in ourselves. We ought to put confidence in the one who keeps us. You feel me? So it's very important that we don't let confidence become pride. We ought to stay humble. You feel me? French fries, no cap.
Remain hungry throughout the process. You got to starve throughout the process. You got to be raggedy throughout the process. And a lot of people don't understand there's a lot of adversity throughout the process. There's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of ups. There's a lot of downs. You know what I mean? There's a whole lot of shit going on through the process. But the name of the game is about the mindset. You understand? It's about the mind. The mind is the truth.
She a coach, bro. She can be a coach, you feel me? It's about the mind, you feel me?
The name of the game
no cap.
is about the mindset, you understand?
Yeah.
It's about the mind. The mind is the true fight of achieving that final ultimate goal. You know, winning that championship. You understand? And then when I win that championship, you know, everybody sees all the victory and glory, but no one understands the hell that I went through
to get there.
Yeah. Or you don't see me look, I'm all raggedy. You know, I'm not even fresh or anything, and my hair is all raggedy and this and that. I'm going through training throughout the process, but what you see is me looking fresh, fly, and this, that, and the other at the end. But it wasn't like that way throughout the process. I was in a whole new world, you know, kickboxing, and, you know, I never really had a job in my life, you know, because I just came from Germany playing professional basketball for 2 years. So, you know, I was, you know, doing some work in the industry, and then it was time to leave, and I decided to go and I listened to my mom. When it was time for you to go and find a job, I was like, but I'm not like them. Well, I'm gonna never go find a job, but I'm not like them. I don't work. I do sports. This was my mindset. Find a job. So I went when I found a job in Santa Monica, and I met with these. And it was the first time that I had ever seen my people there. So it was kind of cool being around my culture. And every Friday they would play dominoes, and every Friday they would get paid. And I had never seen dominoes before. I didn't, but it was kind of cool. It was challenging, counting by fives. Cool. So they invited me down to play dominoes. And what was interesting is that I was told to leave my car. And I thought that was kind of odd, but it didn't click, you know what I mean? They got caught, but I was told to leave my car. I thought that was odd. So I left my car not thinking, duh, not thinking. And I left with Benita. Okay, so I left with Benita at the job. We went to her crib, and I'll never forget sitting on the couch when Lonnie came through, and he introduced himself. And I remember me saying, "Oh, Lonnie, my mom used to date a guy named Lonnie," and that was like the connection there. And then he had gone into the bedroom with Benita. So in my mind, I was just thinking he was Benita's man. So that was just it. Then when he came back out, we all went over and played some dominoes and all that good stuff. They kept putting drinks in front of me, and I think, I pushed aside but they kept putting drinks in front of me. So I take a little sip. And I'll never forget me finally taking a sip of one, and suddenly my eyelids got tired. I mean, my eyelids got so tight, I couldn't keep them open. So what I had done, I got up, excuse myself, got up and went to the bathroom. And I was in the bathroom throwing water on my face like, damn, these eyelids won't stop. I'm talking in the bathroom like, these eyelids won't stay open. I was like this here in the bathroom. Throwing water on my face like, damn, this is crazy. They won't stay open. And I threw water on my face again, got the towel, and then I went ahead and walked out the door. When I walked out the door, Lonnie was there. And I was like, yo, man, stop. Because I thought he was, trying to come on to me. But he knew he had me. You understand? But I didn't know he had me. So he came out, I was like, stop, man. Yo, I don't roll like that. Because I was thinking he was trying to come on to me. So then I sat back down and played some more dominoes. And then my eyelids was going again. I was like, God damn, these eyelids ain't staying open. Benita, we got to go. I got to go. Then I went in the kitchen, and threw water on my face, etc. I was like, Benita, I was like, Benita, look, I got to go. She said, I can't take you. She said, why don't you stay tonight? I was like, nah, I ain't staying tonight. And that's when I realized, when she said stay tonight, I realized that I didn't know anyone in that entire atmosphere. I was looking at everyone, and they would look like monsters. I was thinking, oh my God, I don't know a single soul in here. Oh, damn, what have I gotten myself into? Then Lonnie was like, I'll take you home. I said, okay, fine. And as we were walking outside, I knew it was a risky situation, but as we were walking out, I felt confident enough to be able to protect myself if something were to happen, only because I'm automatically trained to size up anyone.
Does she, so she knew that he was trying to do that with you? Because why didn't she just take you on? Why would she want her boyfriend to take you on? Like, what the freak? Like, this situation seems slow.
My way, and I'm automatically trained to size them up within 100 yards that comes my way. So if someone's walking my way and I'm walking down, and so a man or a woman walking my way, I'm automatically trained to see them and to protect myself. I execute my techniques immediately before they even arrive to me. That makes sense? I'm automatically trained that way. My uncle trained me that way, in the streets. So when that occurred, when we got in the car, something clicked, and I just said, Father, please don't let me have to this guy up. Those are my exact thoughts. Because when we shut the door, I heard something click, and it didn't sound right. That makes sense? I heard something in the door and it click. You understand? So when he got in, we were driving on down, I was like, all right, well, turn right here in Coliseum. And he turned left. Then I knew I was in danger. So what I did, I went to reach to roll the window down, and there was no knob.
See, this really old school. You gotta do the little thing to roll it down like a U-Haul truck. Like, no.
Again, to open the door, there was no knob.
Yeah.
And at that time, I looked at him, and I looked back, and I looked at him, and he had a belt wrapped around his fist. And then we stopped, and we parked. He said, now, I'll never forget these words. He said, now, let me stick it in, and I'll take you home. I said, what? He said, let me stick it in, and I'll take you home. I said, no, I ain't letting you stick get in. You know what I mean? Then he came, boom, to punch me, and I blocked it. Psh, and I hit him, bam, just like that. And I ran to the back of the van. When I ran to the back of the van, I thought I was safe too. Ran to the back of the van and bust out. It was a big chain on it and lock, a big cow chain and lock. I was like, and here he come back. And he was on his way back to the back of the van. I ran back through, boom, to bust through him, to bust out his side of the door, because mine was locked. That makes sense? And when I went to bust out his side of the door, he grabbed my feet by my ankles and he pulled me back. Flipped me over. And he was on top of me, looking me in my face just like that. And he said, now let me stick it in and I'll take you home. I said, no, get off me. And you'll never sin. I'll never say anything. I'll never tell Benita. Benita never see me again.
So she didn't know? Why the freak would she let her wait? That don't make no freaking sense. Like, what the freak?
And you'll never see me again.
What?
Just get
What? Why would she want her boyfriend to take him home when she could take him home? You don't even know him. He didn't like. She didn't ask him to do that. She said he just offered to do it. Like, bro, what?
Let me stick it in. His voice got stronger and stronger. You know what I mean? So he's becoming angry, and I felt his intensity. That makes sense? He says, let me stick it in or take it. He got really angry. I felt his energy, like he was going to, like, smash me. And I said, okay. So when I did that, he got off my wrist, because he was on my wrist looking me smack dead in my damn face. You know? When he got off my wrist, that's when I slipped that motherfucker. Schwab! Got up, wham, got up against the wall. Wham, I got up against the back of the van there. I was like, yeah, come on, motherfucker. Wham, I was wham, pop. Shot back over, yeah, leg kick, whop. You know, when I came back over again, I was like, yeah. He's coming, I kept moving back and forth through the van. I was like, yeah, bam, yeah, leg kick. Then I saw fear in his eyes. That makes sense? And when I saw fear in his eyes, I knew I got him. Now it's a matter of, now I took care of the left leg, now let me take care of the right leg. I was like, yeah, yop! Yeah, yop! He said, oh, he wanted to fighting. He come running at me, woo, 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 like a football player, and boom, slammed me up against the van, bam! And I felt something, and I was like, don't give up now. So I grabbed the end of his shirt tail. I was like, yeah, slam! I ran there and grabbed his pants, sham, pulled him over. I stepped on his chest, I grabbed his. I said, where the keys at, motherfucker? He's out of my pocket, get off. Oh. Now you want me to get out the van. When I wanted to get out, I had to let you stick it in. Where the keys at? I got him out. There's a bunch of keys. I was like, which ones? He was like, it's the orange ones. So I took him, I held on to his, and I slid him all the way over to the door. All I pulled the lock off. Get out. Shut up. Pulled the chain off, open the door. Wow, open the door open real good. I said, now if ever you see me on the streets, what are you going to say? He said, hi. I was like, bam. You know you're not just going to go the opposite direction. Do you understand me, mother? Hey, yeah, get out the van. I didn't know it could go that high. I had to motherfucker. I'm telling you. I said one more thing. He's like, what? Get out the van, get out this van. I said, when the says no, she means no. I went, bam! Jumped out the van and wasn't nothing but fog. That's all it was fog out that month. I couldn't see shit. I was falling, and finally I saw these two little lights, and I focused on those two little lights. That makes sense? So I followed those two little lights all the way down, and as the closer I got, the bigger the lights got. So finally I got on the other side of the lights, and guess what I saw? A cab driver sitting there, old white man. I said, listen, this guy tried to please take me home. He got me. He said, top on in, what's the address? We went on there, my hanging out, one damn shoe, one earring. You know, it was just crazy. It was really a fight for my life, I kid you not. So I get back to Cloverdale, and I realized that I don't have keys or anything. They're all left in the van, and I went to, open the door, and I went to tell him, listen, I don't have it. I looked back, he was gone. This guy was gone. So I looked down. I was like, I just ran to the back, and Franny, bam, 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 Franny. They opened up, girl, what's wrong with you? I said, this guy tried to I said, give me a phone. I called my mom. I said, this guy tried to me. I want to get out of California now. I want to get out of California right now. I want to get out of California right now. I want to get out of here. I never want to come back. I had to be serious, let him know. I went out. My mother said, okay, fine, let's call my father's people. Call my father's people. They said, you'll be on the next flight. Next thing I know, I was the next emergency flight back to Philadelphia, and my whole family was there. Bro. I had no intention of ever coming back to California. Ever. Okay? Never.
Yeah, we get that.
Never. The only reason why I came back is because of the World Championship fight. And that's because it was on the other side of Southern California.
Did you feel after the fact like, that was pretty bad of me? Or were you still scared?
No, I was terrified. On the airplane, I was terrified. In fact, I could hear everyone talking. I could hear a pen drop. That's how sharp my skills had become. That makes sense? I could hear my was sharp. And it was, everything was amplified. I didn't understand it, but I went along with the flow. I had no other choice. They gave me pills to calm me down. When I got to my family, same thing. And I kept having nightmares. I kept waking up fighting, fighting. And I'll never forget my mom saying to me, did he you?
Oh, shoot.
I said, no. She said, well, then, God damn it, it was a fight. And you won the fight. Do you understand me? And it made sense. That makes sense. Then she slapped the out of me. Pah! And she slapped my spirit one side to face the other side. And, then it all made sense. That makes sense? But it was like she had to slap the sense back into me. That makes sense?
Did you agree with her? Did you see it as a fight at that point?
It helped me. It helped me a lot. It did. It's all because that's what I had stuck in my head. I kept waking up. I couldn't sleep sometimes. I would walk the street. It was just crazy. It was just a crazy experience I ever had in my life.
Did you feel like you had to go through a whole new healing process when you found
out
the truth?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
How you found that out and what that was like?
The truth about who he was.
He was a serial killer? I was just about to ask that because, the title was The Serial Killer Who Picked the Wrong Victim. I'm like, he don't seem like a serial killer to me. And did this girl know? But, who is this girl? That's the only person you knew. Why would she invite you over? She need to go to jail, too.
First of all, I never, ever said this to anyone. I just shared it with my girlfriend just recently, but I never, ever shared this with anyone. Throughout the time, before I learned who he was, all my life, I looked over my shoulder to make sure that I never ran into him. That makes sense? I never, ever told anyone that. So I was always looking over my shoulder, making sure I didn't run into him. And I sought therapy for that. My mom, listen, sissy, I need you to go to therapy for this here because I'm not going to be around all the time.
I just thought about that, though. She said when they was fighting, he said, "Are you one of them fighting girls?" Meaning, he went through this before. I just peeped that, no cap.
So I need you to start training and preparing yourself to open yourself up to other people, not just me and your grandmother, because we're not going to be here all the time. You dig? So I started going to therapy for that purpose, and it actually helped me out. It did. It helped me to create this short story, which ultimately came to my story with Sideline going viral, which got gold cast, which of course you guys came, and all you guys 17 million views. So that's how it all came about. Just by me going to therapy and talking about it, and then wanting to see it from the other side.
Soft White, Soft White Underbelly. She did an interview on Soft White Underbelly. I ain't know that, y'all. Hold on. It's not like I'm gonna go watch the video. I'm probably not, because I'm already watching this one, but I think that's what she's talking about. I don't see it in a recommended over here, though, but yeah. Type stuff.
Incredible way to open therapy as another training.
Yeah, it was another training.
So who was this guy?
And how did you find out the truth?
The truth. I was,
yeah.
God works in mysterious ways. First of all, I want to say this here. I'll never forget.
I don't know, like, I think it's just the way they raised. Like, a lot of, like, older people, they believe in God. They do. You don't find too many, like, black grandparents that's atheists. You feel me? But, like, they believe in God in, like, a weird way. Like, they believe in a God, but they still kind of do whatever they want to. You feel me? Like, you could tell, like, for example, like, let's use her for an example. She believe in God, but she's still cussing up a storm. You know what James says about that? If one can't hold their tongue, their religion is worthless. What verse is that in James, bro? Let's see what James says about that. James chapter 1. Let's go to verse 26, shall we? Those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep tight rein on their tongues deceive themselves, and their religion is worthless. It's not that Christianity is worthless, but it's like your religion is worthless. So, like, if you claim to know God, and you, or even not even know God, but you claim to be religious, and you can't even, like, watch how you talk, your religion is worthless. Like, yo, what is your faith? Like, yo, God ain't changed you at all. You feel me? So it's like not even your tongue. You feel me? So it's like, dang. I know some people struggle with cursing though, but it's like a lot of people don't even try, right? And then it's y'all got this fake belief. Like, I ain't hear her mention Jesus once. I heard her say Father, so I'm guessing she agree with the Christian God, but and she is bringing God up, but it's like this. She was talking about this confidence thing, like confidence in yourself. No. You're supposed to put confidence in God. You don't believe in yourself. You believe in God. You know, the Bible says, lean not on your own understanding. That is, do not believe in yourself. That is, do not trust in your heart. The heart is deceitful above all. Right? So it's like, I don't know. I think a lot of people just like raised up on their parents' faith and what their parents taught them, and they don't actually study the scriptures for themselves, or at least submit to the scriptures for themselves. You feel me?
You know, God works in mysterious ways. First of all, I want to say this here. I'll never forget this here magazine. It was called the LA Weekly that was dropped on my step. And it said The Grim Sleeper. The Grim Sleeper was him. I didn't know that. But it was right there on my step.
The Grim Sleeper. Oh, what the freak? What the freak? This what she ran into? Oh! Was officially convicted of 10 murders, 9 women, 1 teenage girl, and 1 attempted murder. However, police found over 100 photos of women in his home, and authorities suspect his actual body count could succeed 25 or more victims. What the freak? Dang, his cause of death was never released by authorities. Yep, they had to kill his they had to kill him, gang. Oh, they said he was found in the cell without any signs of trauma. The devil done took him away. Hold on. Was he? They'll tell me he was a Christian too. His wife is a devout Christian. Yeah. He had a wife. That was the wife she was talking about, or no? Or is that somebody else? So she didn't know about what you call it. She's literally famous for being his wife. Like, can y'all imagine being famous for something like this, bro? Yeah, bro. That's just wow, bro. Ugh. That's wild.
Then as years went on, I'll never forget I was retired and, you know, I was coming
So that's the one she was hitting with the ha-chow. Oh yeah, hit him with another ha-chow. You feel me? Phone him great.
And I turned the TV on and I saw him right there. When I saw him right there, I had all that energy and everything.
Part 2! You hear me? Ha-chow! What is that? Ha-chow! Oh yeah. Left hook. Uppercut. Oh shoot, I'm spilling my drink. Let me chill.
Came back, us fighting, everything, that eye contact, everything, it all came. I was reliving everything, and I freaked out, and I called my mom, and I called my grandmother. I was like, you know, the guy tried to me 15 years ago, 15 years, he's on TV, like, turn it on right now. Call my grandma, turn it on right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my mom was the one who told me not to bother with the case. She said, he didn't you, don't bother with it, let it go. Because I was like, yeah, I want to confront that. This is what I was thinking. Yeah, I want to confront him. Yeah, you know, that's really what I was thinking. But my mom said, "Don't even bother with the case. Let it go. You don't need to be a part of it." You know.
What did you decide?
I decided to listen to my mom.
Sleeper. Wow.
You know, she said he didn't you. It was a fight. You won the fight.
Shoot.
Go on. You don't need to be a part
Bro,
of it.
y'all mama tripping, man.
What a harrowing experience, and to associate California with that.
I know, huh? That's why I've learned.
Oh, he was not
don't
there
get
for
in
all.
cars with people. You know what I mean? Especially my you don't know, because their goal is to trap you to that bitch. Oh, excuse my French, but it's the truth. My bad, but it's the truth. Because it wasn't the first time they trap you in there. When you need a ride,
yep.
And they're gonna trap you and then get you. I'll never forget my coach, because you know martial arts. My kickboxing coach and those guys, we didn't really get involved in each other's personal lives. It was just basically kickboxing, and they had reached out to me and said, hey, we got a championship fight for you. You got everything to gain and nothing to lose. That was their favorite line. You got everything to gain, nothing to lose. I was like, yeah. They didn't know I was back home. They had no idea that I was going through the trauma that I was going through. They had absolutely no idea. But it was kind of fun and kind of healing to hear from them.
Who survived
and they said, yeah.
his attacks.
I said, well, who you want me to fight? There's like the most dangerous woman in the world. The most dangerous woman. I'm like the most dangerous woman in the world. Damn! I fight for my life again. It's like, yeah, but you got everything to gain and nothing to lose. I was like, well, what's her record? And they said 27-2. My mom said, well, she ain't that damn bad. Sure, he ain't got a whoop twice. So that was my mom. It was funny, but make a long story short, I had a private conversation with my mom, and it took me a moment to accept the opportunity. But I think another thing that inspired me is that she was on, I think, Johnny Carson or something like that there. And, Johnny Carson was like, well, how can you be the most dangerous woman in the world when you have never fought anyone from Northern America? And then she said, well, I am here to fight Fredia Gibbs. And that kind of inspired me. Okay. So it's like that, huh? Okay. So I kind of forgot about the darkness that I had encountered and started, moving toward the light. That makes sense. What I learned? I learned that there's so much racism in combat sport, it's not even funny. It's really a shame. And I learned that they will go out their way to try to hold the best back in order for them to bring in someone that they want to market and pretend to be the best. That makes sense? That's what I learned from my own personal experience. Yeah, they will.
Very much so about profit.
Yeah.
But in ways, you took that power back.
Yeah. Took the power back. I'll never forget. I trained diligently for the championship fight. I think it's probably 60 days. I was with Saxon Janjir, and at the time, Saxon Janjir is like Tom Brady here in America, but in Thailand, he's like Tom Brady in Thailand. In Thailand. So I had the opportunity to train with him. He and we trained at UCLA Drake Stadium. We trained 5 a.m. in the morning, 4 a.m. I mean, it's one of the best trains I ever had. And he prepared. Me working with him was healing for the experience that I was experiencing from the street with Lonnie. So it was actually healing that I was experiencing with Saxon. That makes sense? And I'll never forget the day of the fight. It was San Jose. I'd actually killed 3 rattlesnakes before that. But the day of the fight, we were in the coach and those guys. They came to get me in this station wagon with a mattress on the back and told me to sleep on it. We slept the day of the fight. This is how wrong they did me. The day of the fight. I'm fighting for a world championship fight on pay-per-view. The first pay-per-view card ever in the history of paid damn per-view. They didn't even have a ESPYs award. And I'm driving the day of the fight to San Jose. This is a complete setup. I go through the back door. You understand? They put me in this little room. Now keep in mind, I know what royal treatment is because I just come from Germany, a 2-year contract, getting paid $3,000 a week to play professional basketball. You understand? I am a Division I athlete. I know what royal treatment is all about. You understand? And the fact that they were giving this type of treatment was actually me off. You know, and then that's when I called my mom because I was so hurt. I was like, they're trying to set me up. She said, well, you tell that bitch I said you're the one her mama warned her about. And when my mom said that, that energy permeated me. You know? Then I called my grandma. I said, they trying to set me up. They think I'm stupid. My grandmother said, we know you're a star. Now it's your job to go out there and let the world know that you're a star. You understand? So I took both of that energy from both of them, and I was like, let's go. You know, let's go. So when it was press conference time, I just straight walked up to her, and I just told her, you know what? She's like, I looked on a map, and I couldn't find Chester. And everybody was laughing. I said, you know what? I walked up to her, I said, you know what, tonight, not only will you find Chester on the map, but I want you to know that I'm the one your mama warned you about. Now let's do this, you know? Then it was time to go, it was showtime. And I'll never forget they called me, they was like, Gibbs, it's time! You know, and I walked to the arena area, and it was the first time I seen the arena, because usually I like to see it prior to, just to get the feeling of it, but yeah. I didn't feel any type of welcome. You know what I mean? So I was reluctant to go. But, you know, I had gone, and when I went out to the arena, I didn't realize that the arena was so big. I was like, whoa! My spirit, like, literally ran back to Pennsylvania. I was like, whoa, this is serious. Mm-hmm. You know? I was like, this is serious. I looked all around. I was like, let's go, Gibbs. And I started walking down, and I'll never forget hearing this voice say, that's the black girl who came here to get knocked out. And everybody was laughing. And it pissed me off. And that's when I said, tonight, Father, we're going to shock the world. Yeah, we're going to shock the world. I'm going to shock the world tonight. You did? So got in the ring, you know, clothing off, etc., tap, gloves, and I'm going to share this with you. I have been in combat with some bad guys and some bad females. And I have to be really honest, Valerie Hennon is bad. You understand? She's a bad white girl. What blew me away is when she came out press conference time, she was looking all fly and sexy, and heels on, this, that, and the other. And my thought was, no. If anything, I'm going to beat your ass and you're going to meet me in my room tonight. You know what I mean? That's wild, my thought. Man. You understand? That was my thought when I saw her, like, damn, you know? But she can fight. That girl can fight. I kid you not. She really put it on me. I mean, you guys, y'all been, the girls know how to fight. That's what you want, I'm trying to tell you. That girl can fight. She really could. And I'll never forget my legs were getting tired because I had trained Muay Thai kickboxing, but prior to the fight, they said the fight was going to be changed to kickboxing, so I had to stay above the waist rather than below the waist. So my legs got real, you know, tired very quickly. And third round, I felt my legs, I saw myself falling because I'm the type of person I see things before it happened. You know what I mean? I see, I manifest, that's how I manifest. And I saw myself falling, and I was like, no, this is not going to happen. We're going to have to change the script. You know, and I dig deep inside. I was like, Father, help me. Help me, my legs are getting tired. You know, and then I started using my hands. I kicked one time, and then I swung, boom, and that's when it was over. I connected, and, you know, then the rest was, that's when history was made. Black history, American history, world history.
Can you describe that feeling of history?
You know, I had no idea that I made history, but I was just happy because I won. I was happy because I knew that I was the underdog. I was very happy and elated because I knew that they didn't know who I was. I believe had they known my background, that I'm a professional, you know, European basketball player, I'm a Division I athlete, you know, averaging these points, I'm an Olympic track runner, etc. And I'm a 3-time world champion karate. It probably would have been a different
she got it all,
but
gang.
They didn't care about my background.
Track,
so
basketball, boxing, karate. Tweaked out.
You have no idea who I really am, but you're gonna find out tonight.
She on tip.
And they did. Previously, I had gone, during the time I was in Philadelphia between 217 and 219, I had attended, multiple different public schools and given speeches to children. And kids who were being bullied like myself, and other things that were going, abuse and different things like that. And I think my speech to them is, I was once where you were. When they saw my video, they come up and they would say, we still don't believe that you were ever bullied. And I tell them I was. They see me fighting, I was. But I had to learn to fight back. And you're going to have to learn to fight back. All of you are going to have to learn to fight back. And it's all a good thing, you understand? Learning how to protect ourselves is a good thing. In a society that has us believing that self-defense is a bad thing, you dig? But self-defense is a good thing, because even in the book of Ephesians, we are giving, equipment to protect ourselves spiritually.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
The helmet, the breastplate, the sword, you know what I mean? The shield, the shoes.
Okay. Okay, see, David, scripture,
We're
okay.
giving these things, these protective items, equipments to protect ourselves spiritually.
Yeah.
So even the universe tells us that we have to protect ourselves.
She had it going for herself, bro. Then she said the universe, bro. How in the world is God the universe when the universe is not eternal? What the freak, bro? You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, people be like, they be believing in God, they be sounding good, but it's like, I don't know if y'all be truly saved, bro. I ain't hear her mention Jesus one time, gang. And it's probably because she one of them people who be like, I don't worship a white Jesus, but Jesus wasn't even white, bro. Like,
you understand?
that don't even matter, though,
my
even if
word
he
to
was.
the children,
That's the Son
every
of
single
God.
child on this planet needs to learn how to protect themselves. Those kids who are currently being bullied, who are bullying, and who are currently bullying, something's obviously wrong with their situation. They too need to learn to protect themselves. And I believe if they're given the opportunity to learn self-defense, because self-defense really changed my life, because it's not about fighting. It's really deeper than that. It's about, doing things you don't want to do. You know what I mean? That makes sense? It's about discipline. It's about, I got to be here at 2:30. I'm going to be at this at 12:30.
For what?
It's about discipline.
For
you
what?
That makes sense?
Not just physical.
Yeah, it's not just physical.
Yeah.
It's not. No, not at all. There's a whole lot of things going on in my life right now, which is very positive, and I'm extremely optimistic about it. Currently, I am working with some heavy hitters in Hollywood. Mark Ambrose, producer of Justin Bieber and the Beatles. Executive producer, I'm working with Paul Tamsy, who was the writer of The Fighter. Him and Eric Johnson. I'm working with these guys, and we're currently working together to, produce my life story. So, right now we're in process, but, it's definitely coming soon. We're very excited, Yeah, we're very excited.
I felt like I was watching a movie.
Yeah, we're very excited.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That was hard. They got a heck of stories. I was forced to make I'm about to save a few of these. If I don't get copyrighted, I'm gonna start watching some of their videos. No cap. UK's most evil mother, bro. What the freak be wrong? It be stuff going on in life, bro. That just be wild. Should I save all these? Let me not save too much. Cause I really be watching stuff that I save. Oh, shoot. What the freak? What the freak? These stories be wild. He was 68 and you was 3? What the Muhammad and Aisha gang? What the freaky? What? I can't do this, bro. I ain't gonna lie. These stories is weird. These stories, this some weird stuff. This some weird stuff for real. Ugh. Yeah, I ain't watching no. I can't even subscribe to this. This too much. No cap. This story was cool though. Yeah, and she was off drugs when she was fighting. That's crazy. Then I saw the fear in his eyes. Her narrating skills, no cap. No cap. Hey man, that was a W video. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. That video was hard. That video was hard. All glory to God, bro. I don't got too much to say, bro. I love y'all. You feel me? Do love y'all infinitely. Mom done my sparkling nice. And shoot, but I hope y'all enjoyed the video as much as I did, bro. We out.